I do a lot of things in my classes where I say this is my favorite, and I can guarantee you that nobody else in the room goes, yeah, that's my favorite thing to do too, okay? And this rotation for the hip is by far one of my favorites, and I'm hoping that I'm starting to get people to jump on the bandwagon with me. But the way we set this up, right, we're gonna take this back leg and work it through internal and external rotation, active range of motion. So you wanna come into a 90-90 sit. So I got my right knee straight out from my hip. So when I look down, my right thigh is relatively parallel to the right side of my mat. And then my right shin parallel to the top of my mat. Now this back leg, left knee straight out from the hip, left shin parallel to the left side of my mat. So I got two 90-degree boxes. And then I'm gonna walk this right hand in as tight as possible. If I need to, put a block underneath it to make this just a little bit more comfortable. Okay, what's gonna wanna happen when we rotate is the torso and the pelvis are gonna wanna do this to make it easier. Try to fight that. And then also the body's gonna wanna lean out to right to make this easier. Again, try to fight that. It's okay to lean forward and it's okay to lean out to the right to get the leg to lift. But I have the same. Have it be easy enough that the leg can lift, but the second it does, you wanna run the hell out of the room, okay? So the way we do this is we try to stay as vertical as possible in the spine. And then we just pick up the shin like a DeLorean for those my age or older, or a Tesla, right? You wanna just lift the leg up like this, okay? So do that a few times to work the abductors, to work the glute med, right out here. We're just gonna lift, okay? Now is where the fun starts to go, if that was already crampy for you. Okay, again, I'm trying to stay vertical. I'm trying not to lean out to the right. I'm just gonna pick up the shin, step the left foot forward. Not so bad, right? That's external rotation. Think pigeon pose. Yoga's really good at that, okay? Now this is where the pelvis and the torso want to make this easier. Try your best to fight it. You're just gonna pick up the foot and take it back into position here. What we don't want is the knee going past the hip. So you may take your elbow here as a guideline to go. I don't want my thigh going past that because again, that will make it easier because now the pelvis is gonna start to rotate. We wanna just rotate the screw. So we'll do that a few times. We step the foot forward and then we put it back into position. That's the hard one. That's internal rotation. That's about where your coin pocket of your jeans would be. So you want to just kind of go back and forth like this. Again, you're trying to stay as vertical as possible. Don't beat yourself up if the body cheats. It's going to first start to do this. But this is so good for the hip, right? Because we are working external rotation, internal rotation, and we're isolating it, which means that the muscles that perform that action get to do that. Because if I just do this and I step forward and I do this, or if I come here and I do this, right? Now the pelvis gets involved because the body always wants to work through the path of least resistance. It wants people to help out. But that means that we don't get to strengthen these muscles as much as possible. So try it. Again, 90-90 setup. Sit as vertical as possible. Try to fight the torso and the pelvis moving. Step the foot forward. Again, that's external rotation. The ball is rolling backwards. And then step it back into position. That's internal rotation. For most of us, internal is going to be really hard. Why? Because yoga sucks at internal rotation. We need to add more of it in. We're going to be able to step the foot forward a little bit easier because we spend a lot of our day and a lot of our practice in external rotation.